What if one of the world's most powerful countries is quietly strengthening its global position with the help of one of the most controversial regimes on earth? What if the Taliban, once isolated and sanctioned, are now playing a key role in China's long-term strategy? Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Spanferneo. Today, we're talking about how the Taliban are helping China and why this relationship matters far beyond Afghanistan. After the Taliban returned to power in Afghanistan in 2021, most Western countries cut ties, froze assets, and imposed sanctions. Afghanistan became isolated once again, but China took a very different approach. Instead of turning away, Beijing kept its embassy open in Kabul and began building a working relationship with the Taliban. This wasn't about ideology or approval of their policies. For China, it was about interests, security, and power. One of the biggest ways the Taliban are helping China is through security. China is deeply concerned about militant groups that could threaten its western region of Xinjiang. Beijing fears that extremist groups operating in Afghanistan could support or inspire violence inside China. The Taliban, eager for international legitimacy and economic support, have promised China that Afghan soil will not be used against Chinese interests. By cracking down on groups hostile to China, the Taliban are offering something Beijing values highly: stability on its border. Another major factor is Afghanistan's natural resources. Afghanistan is believed to sit on trillions of dollars worth of untapped minerals, including lithium, copper, and rare earth elements. These resources are critical for modern technology like electric vehicles, smartphones, and military equipment. China already dominates much of the global supply chain for these materials, and access to Afghan resources could strengthen that dominance even further. The Taliban have welcomed Chinese companies offering mining rights and long-term contracts that Western firms won't touch due to sanctions and human rights concerns. The Taliban are also helping China expand its regional influence. Afghanistan sits at a strategic crossroads between Central Asia, South Asia, and the Middle East. For China's Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to connect Asia, Africa, and Europe through infrastructure and trade, Afghanistan could become an important link. Roads, railways, and energy projects passing through Afghan territory could give China new routes that bypass rivals and reduce dependence on vulnerable sea lanes. By cooperating with China, the Taliban are opening the door for Beijing to reshape regional trade networks. Diplomatically, the Taliban are helping China challenge Western influence. By engaging with the Taliban when others refuse to, China presents itself as a pragmatic power, willing to work with any government. This strengthens China's image among countries that distrust Western intervention and sanctions. Every meeting, investment deal, or public statement between China and the Taliban sends a message. Beijing does not need Western approval to shape global affairs. At the same time, the Taliban benefit from this relationship. They gain political recognition, economic lifelines, and a powerful ally on the world stage. But this also means they increasingly align their policies with Chinese priorities. In this way, the Taliban are not just receiving support from China, they are actively helping China advance its strategic goals. Of course, this partnership is not without risks. Afghanistan remains unstable, and Chinese investments could become targets if security breaks down. The Taliban's promises may not always translate into full control over all armed groups. Still, for now, China appears willing to take that risk, and the Taliban appear willing to cooperate. In the bigger picture, this relationship shows how global power is shifting. As Western influence pulls back, other powers move in. The Taliban helping China is not just a regional story. It's part of a larger change in how alliances are formed in today's world. It shows that geopolitics is often driven less by values and more by interests. So when we ask how the Taliban are helping China, the answer is clear: They are offering security assurances, access to resources, strategic geography, and diplomatic opportunities. In return, China offers recognition, investment, and protection on the international stage. Whether this partnership will last or how it will affect ordinary Afghans remains an open question. But one thing is certain: this quiet alliance is already shaping the future of the region, and the world should be paying close attention. Thank you so much for watching. If you really like this video, kindly hit the like and subscribe button.